Okay, so sorry for that. Yeah, so welcome back. Yeah, actually we have started with you, but some sort of friends are unable to join us now. So we come back to our class. Yeah, so this is the last session for our class this 2 days. Yeah, then I will try to cover the whole module, but I will try to highlight those important points that might be help you to prepare you for the assessments for the examination later. Yeah, so let's share my screen again. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the tips for the exam. Yeah, so we had discussed this model just now before our lunch break. Yeah, so this most probably one of the question. Then there could be another two question from either the social entrepreneurs or from the corporate entrepreneur. Yeah, so all the explanations have been included inside our module here. Yeah, so what I'm going to do for this next 2 hours is I try to highlight those important part. Yeah, and then hopefully that will help you, give you some ideas how you can prepare you for the examination and also for your assignments, yeah, on the class test and also the individuals assignment letter. Yeah, and again for those who yet to sign in into the Google Classroom, yeah, please make sure you join the Google Classroom, yeah, because all the materials, all the assessments had been posted inside the Google Classroom. Okay, so this is our fourth module. So we will discuss quickly on the how we can assess the entrepreneurial opportunities. Yeah, so if you see here, so all these objective later you can go through. Yeah, I will touch on the important part on this slide. Yeah, so these are examples of additional model that you can use how to identify the opportunities. Yeah, so based on these hinders or models, it shows that the exploiting an opportunity is a tricky process. Yeah, so you need to spot the opportunity. Yeah, so after you spot the opportunity, then you need to evaluate it. Yeah, so as we keep discussed, not all the opportunity is uh, have a good impact to your business. So you need to evaluate it. Is it that is the right time, or is it that is the right demands of the product or services for your businesses? Yeah, so that's why you need to evaluate it. Yeah, so only after you evaluate it, then you need to come out with the business model. So how you can improve that's a product or services. Only then you can move to the next step, the commitments, how you can achieve that the product or the services, how it can transform into your business and also into your business opportunities. Yeah, then there are three activities as you can see on your right side here. You need to find out what are the strategic, is it personal and also the tactical parts of your business. So once you see there is any opportunity, you discover it, is it that is something that is strategic for you. Yeah, and then after you decide on to move on, after you evaluate it just now, then does it can bring any value to your organization. Yeah, so what kind of the business model that you want to use? Only then you can move to the next level. Yeah, so you can start to use or materialize your ideas or the opportunities just now. Yeah, so you can have a look more detail on this model. Yeah, so, but for these assessments, I do believe this will not be asked for the question later lah. Yeah, so just for your info. Yeah, so however, you need to be aware of the analysis lah. When you do the analysis or when you do the evaluating, make sure you are not over evaluate the opportunity. Yeah, because sometimes yes, it's good to have a dream, it's good to have an imagination, but we need to be realistic when we do the evaluation. So what we worry is we over evaluating it. Yeah, so for example, we see yes, there is the opportunity. However, we over evaluate it. Yeah, so maybe we don't have a specific method how we evaluate it. Yeah, so for example, if you have any method, maybe using the survey, you check the market condition. So what is the customers really want? Yeah, so you evaluate it rather than you just based on the assumption. Yeah, so if your business model is more to business, so you may want to get the feedback from your potential client. Yeah, so for example, if you want to introduce the new product or new services, before you launch it, maybe you can come and seek your either your partner or your client or your potential customer. Does this kind of product really have the market for that's a kind of services or product before you decide to bring in or adopt that kind of technology? Yeah, so that is a very important to evaluate it here. Yeah, and do not undermine the entrepreneur's ambition and also treat procrastination. Yeah, so basically, you will never be in the position to have all the fact. So of course, we cannot find all the fact, but at least we have some idea. We have some information what is really going on in the market. Yeah, so let as we discussed earlier on within these 2 days. Yeah, of course there are lots of opportunities. Yeah, and we need to evaluate it. Yeah, then on the following slide, we will discuss how we can use the thinking tool to assist us to decide whether the opportunity is realistic or not, or whether it is we can move it forward. Yeah, so for examples, yeah, so these are the examples of the rules of thumb. Either that's an opportunity, you can move on a bit, you can proceed with it, or you need to leave it. Yeah, so here are the rules of the thumb. You might see the opportunities. For example, just now, during the lunch break, we see there's a lot of complaint about the poor of the connection of the internet. Yeah, that is the opportunity of the business that has. Yeah. However, you need to be realistic. So if you want to enter that market, so what is the potential challenge there? Yeah. So one is of course with the capital. And yes, another thing is the established providers, for example, the telecom, the selcom. In that case, is same like this one. So, for example, you see the opportunity, which is similar to like what a microscope doing. So, do we have the capabilities to challenge or beat this giant? Yeah. So these are the things that we might want to consider. And yes, the chances is there. Yeah, the chances is there. However, it is very unlikely that we can beat them in a short time. Yeah, so of course the possibility is there. Yeah, so this is examples of the rules of thumb when you want to decide is it the opportunities you can move on or not. Yeah, so other than that, you may want to find a niche of the market. Yeah, so that's when you launch the product or services, it will serve a specific customer, which is totally different compared to others. Yeah, so before the launch, we have a lengthy discussion also about the idea, the business idea, how you can improve the ideas that we have, or maybe you want to duplicate, or maybe you want to improve the quality of the service. Yeah, so here you may find what are the niche that you want to enter. Yeah, so because if you join the overcrowded market, then the potential for you to grow is yes, of course, is there, but it's quite challenging or quite tough. Yeah, compared to if you focusing into the niche that you are passionate with. Yeah, so that's you have a better understanding, and the market also that's not that so crowd. Yeah, so for examples in this case, so like what the body shop doing. Yeah, so there are lots of others industry in this body shop industry. Yeah, so but what they did is they focus into a certain product compared to others players, whereby they try to mix up everything. Yeah, they focus into a specific niche. Yeah, so in your case also you can do the same thing. Yeah, so you find what is the niche based on the opportunity that you find out. after you do the analysis and what kind of the problem and what are the gap. Yeah, so and what are the niche that you want to enter in. Yeah, so for example, just now also we noticed that the young lady, whereby she introduced the shoes. Yeah, so that is what we call a specific niche. So specific person that we are targeting. Okay, so for example, maybe the current problem about the technology, the improvement of the technology, and the users of the technology is quite booming. Then so maybe you want to find out what is the current problem beside the poorest internet connection. Maybe one of the problem is those who are not really familiar or not IT savvy. Yeah, those maybe the old generation, maybe they're not really familiar how to use the gadget. Then how you can solve this kind of problem? Then your business idea is fit into this specific niche. Yeah, and and you need to ensure also beside not try not to join the overcrowded marketplace, try to find a unique or specific product which is different compared to the others. Yeah, so this is examples of the rules of thumb when you evaluate the opportunities. Okay. Yeah, so these are examples of the critical factors also. Beside the rules of thumb just now, you may want to use this VRIN test. Yeah, so variable, rare, imperfectly, and imitable. Yeah, so if you do this using these critical factors, you may have a proper assessment or evaluating method how you can evaluate that kind of opportunity. Yeah, the previous slide that we see is the general rule of thumb. Yeah, and this one is more to the scientific process how you can identify or evaluate this kind of opportunity. Yeah. Okay, and these are the common pitfalls for the entrepreneurs when they see the opportunities. So what's the common problem is the lack of the objective of the evaluation. Yeah, so they just tiba-tiba dapat idea from the coffee shop or whatever, then they did not do a proper evaluation. Then it may become one of the reason why they will not successful in terms of that venture. Yeah, and others than that they might not really go deep inside the market. Yeah, so they refuse to take the advice from the market or from the expert. Yeah, so of course as we mentioned, the opportunity is there. It is a matter of how you can identify it. Yeah, but sometimes you need to get the feedback or advice from the customers, your potential customers, or from the expert from that market. Yeah, so for example, maybe you want to venture into the uh, groceries market, for example. Yeah, so now the trend is people is going to the online shopping. Yeah, so you might not really do the survey. Yeah, so what's the needs of the customer? What's of the item that they require? Or what kind of the method that you want to deliver the services? Are you going to do the conventional brick and mortar businesses, or you are going to do a fully online? So if you're going to do the fully online businesses, what kind of the services or platform that you are going to use? Are you going to use the social media, or are you going to use the professionals websites? So this kind of thing that you need to do the survey. Yeah, and you might have an inadequate understanding of the technical requirement. So this one, if you involve with the technological part of the business, maybe you come out with a product, specific product. Yeah, so you might have an inadequate understanding of the technical requirement, because for certain product or certain equipment, there is a requirement either set by the industry or either set by the government. Yeah, so you need to have a deep knowledge, or at least a basic knowledge about the technical requirement, because we don't want when you come out with the product or with the services, then you fail to meet the technical requirement. And when it's happened, it will become a problem for your product to be approved by certain regulation or certain industry. Yeah, so that is very important for you to understand the technical requirement as well. Yeah, so other than that, of course, the poor financial understanding, yeah, so lack of venture uniqueness, or you might ignorant of the legal and regulatory issues. Yeah, so this one might be related to the any technical requirement just now. Yeah, because sometimes the technical requirement is set in line with the legals and the regulatory issues as well. Yeah, so or maybe you have a lack insight regarding the industry structure. Yeah, so you are not familiar with that. For example, you are working in a oil and gas industry, for example. Then suddenly you want to have a business, then you venture into agriculture business, for example. Yeah, so maybe you have a lack insight regarding the industry structures, how the marketing structures, what kind of the license that you need to do, so how you're going to do the marketing. Yeah, so there's lots of things that you need to comply because it is related to the agricultures. Then maybe you want to transform the raw material into the end product, so into a food product. So what's kind of the regulatories, what kind of the standard that you need to comply. Yeah, so all these things you need to consider also. Otherwise, it will become a pitfall for you. Yeah. Okay, so these are the examples of the another method that you can use beside the green just now. You can use the pastel also, ataupun you can use the steep. You need to analyze the political situation, the economic, the socio-cultural, all these things you can be used for you to do the more or proper analysis or evaluation to that opportunities. Yeah, so in terms of the political, for example, if you want to create a product or want to venture into the business, how the condition of the politicals at that certain area. Yeah, so does the politicals have a good policy toward the businesses that is relevant to you? And maybe for the economic wise, is it the factors of the purchasing power of that product is supporting you? Yes, all these things you may want to consider. That this is additional tools that you can use to identify. Yes, so the opportunity. Yeah, so other than this, maybe you can use the SWOT analysis as well. Yeah, and don't forget to analyze the daily chain also. Yeah, so after you decide or before you confirm joins or use this kind of product or services, you need to consider your supplier as well, the raw material that you're going to use to support your product. So how easy for you to get that kinds of the raw material. So you need to analyze the value chain as well. You need to consider. So otherwise, then you have a good idea, but somehow because if you fail to analyze this value chain, then when you started your product, then you might have a problem to get your supply chain. Yeah, so then this can stop your product or maybe can increase your production. Yeah, so then we will reduce your profit as well. Okay, so other than that, you can use the 5 pause method also to analyze the opportunity. Yeah, so this is what the 5 pause, portal 5 pause method. You can use the threat of the new entrant, the supplier, the internal threat of the substitute, and also the customer bargaining. Yeah, so we will see a bit of detail on this. So how you can use this. Yeah, so so for examples in the trade of the new entrant. So kalau you decide to enter the market, for example, you want to join the electrical vehicle contohnya. So kalau you join this kind of industry, so what is the trade of the new entrant into this industry? Just assume that you have all the capabilities, you have the resources, you have the capitals, then you decided want to enter into this industry, nak buat apa vehicle gunakan elektrik. So what is the threat from the new entrant? Yeah, so compared to other business, I do believe the threat of the new entrant is quite quite difficult here. So because why? Because the capital itself quite quite a lot. Yeah, so the resources, the technology, this is quite a lot. Maksudnya tadi untuk new player enter into this kind of the industry or into this kind of businesses a bit difficult. Yeah, compared to others business, contohnya kedai makan. So kedai makan, so most of the people untuk join the industry is quite easy compared to the vehicles punya electric vehicle tadi. So that is what is meant by the threat of the new entrant. Apakah ancaman kepada player baru? So contoh dia macam the big company like Microsoft, like others technologies, contoh macam Apple. The threat of the new player to enter into the market is yes still there, however a bit difficult. So that is what it means here. So others than the threat of the new entrant, you need to consider also about the industry ataupun internal rival. So mungkin you have same player that's yang sama-sama buat the same business. So what are the threat from this the industrial ataupun your own competitor? So you need to consider this also. Not only the industrial, you need to consider your internal rivals also. So before you consider ataupun move on to the opportunity that you identified just now. So other than that, you can have also look into the possibilities of this criteria. So you need to consider all the cost, the marketing cost, the margin also. You need to consider all of this. So beside all the trade just now. So for example, if you want to introduce the certain product, so how you going to market the product? So is there any customers ataupun potential buyers for this kind of product? So contohnya macam ni. So if you see this this code, if you try to bring it into Malaysia, do you think this kind of code will have a better customer?
Kena pakai aircon je lah.
Mau pakai aircon saja kan?
Ini panas, kalau pakai ini panas tu.
So that's why you need to analyze your market first also. So make sure the product, the services that you want to introduce is relevant to the demographic, relevant to the location. So if you ask, yes, of course, this is marketable and depend on which area you market it. So kalau you market this in Malaysia, maybe the customer mungkin tidak banyak lah, tak ramai. Compared to those areas yang memerlukan this kind of suit ataupun code. Okay, so that is examples of how you can use a method to analyze or evaluate the opportunities. So that's you bila you telah kenal pasti the opportunity, you will not make immediate decision without evaluating it. So you need to evaluate it first, then do all the strategy before finally we proceed with that kind of product ataupun services. So that is the quick module 4 just now. So how you can access the opportunities. Any question or sharing on this topic? Let's see the chat room. True. Okay. Okay, so just to recap back, there are a few methods that you can use just now. You can use the rule of thumb, that is definitely you cannot consider that. Then others than that, you may use the PESTER, you may use the SWOT analysis, ataupun first 5 portal tadi, ataupun you can use the VRIN, VRN punya method. That is more to the scientific analysis compared to you just fikir ataupun you just based on your imagination tadi. So that is ends of our module 4.
Ada keluar exam tak?
This one tak ada. No worry.
Okay.
That's why I just go quickly. This is a good info. In fact, even though tak ada keluar exam, But I believe kalau kita those yang baru mau join this business world, you can apply it in the actual life scenario.
Exposure sharing.
Yes. So maybe before we move to module 5, maybe we can have once sharing here around 5 minutes. Is there on your actual business? Did you practice this kind of the analysis when you see the opportunities? Any volunteer?
Yeah, sure. For sure, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Maybe before we don't have the specific name for it lah, but we actually we dah apply it within our business life lah.
Yeah, good. Thank you, sir.
So now the during this process of learning actually giving us the what call kita lebih tahu lah, okay, that this process is like this and like this.
More the terminology yang masa tu tak ada, but basically the elements tu memang kita ada pakai.
Yes.
Kita ada pakai elements tu. The term itu saja masa tu kita tak pakai lah.
Yeah.
Betul.
Okay, thank you for the sharing. Yes, normally the easiest one is you can use the either this either pastel or either this portal 5 course. Because kalau kita follow this, at least we have some structure or some basic guidance for us to do the analysis. Yeah, otherwise mungkin we tend to forget lah. Yeah, so especially contoh dia macam internal competition ni. Kan? So ada tak internal competition. So we might not consider that before. So who is our internal competitor here? Yeah. So okay. Let's we move on to the next module, module 5. This is more to the strategy. So how you can grow your business. So you already have your idea just now. You first, of course, still remember you decide to enter the business world. You want to become the entrepreneur. After you decide, then you need to come out with the ideas and grow your business. Yeah. Okay. So, but before that, anyone where is the highest entrepreneurs people in the world? Ada tak yang ada idea? So which country in the world has the highest numbers of entrepreneur? Paling ramai usahawan lah. Ada tak based on the penduduk dia? Ada yang pernah baca kan?
If I'm not mistaken, Africa. I think I've read Nigeria or somewhere in Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, because of the capaian kita sangka they are back on technology, but they are so advanced actually, you know. And kesesakan hidup tu membuatkan mereka lebih berusaha. I've read one article because what they said is African create the most entrepreneurial in the world.
Yes.
But I don't remember when, but last 1 year lah.
Yeah. I do agree. If you still remember yesterday, this morning, there are two reasons why people venture into entrepreneurship. One is because they have the idea and they want to achieve the dream. And the second part is because of the survival mode.
Yes.
So kalau you tak buat this kind of business, then you cannot survive. So that's why I believe Africans country. So kalau tak silap, so what I read last night is apa nama negara tu? Uganda.
Uganda, yes.
Uganda is one of the poorest country in the world. The fact is, yes, they are the poorest country. However, the entrepreneurial rate is around 25%, kata silap. They are the highest entrepreneurial rate in the world, compared to dia punya penduduk lah. Okay, so that is about it. So let's move on to the strategy. What kind of the strategy that you can use to grow your businesses?
So an interesting topic.
Interesting to figure. Wait, I try to read the chat box. Sorry. Okay, moment. Yeah, so this one you can read later. Yeah, so basically there are two types how you can grow your businesses. Yeah, so either internal or external growth of your strategy. What kind of strategy that you want to use? Yeah, so we will go briefly also on this one. So what are the internal growth strategy that you can use, and external growth strategy that you may want to use? Yeah, so the internal growth strategy basically is the effort that you do within the firm itself. Maksudnya tadi dalam your own organisasi. So contohnya maybe you want to have a new product development or other product related to the strategies, and also you may want to expand into the international expansion. So that is more to the internal growth strategy. Yeah, so meanwhile, for the external growth strategy, this one is you are realizing into the relationship with the third parties. Yeah, so for example, you may want to merge with others company, or perhaps you want to venture, ataupun you want to buy the share of that company. Yeah, so that is more to the external growth of the strategy. Yeah, so in a nutshell, here is the map of it. Yeah, so let me see what are the internal growth strategy all about. Yeah, so just now we talk about the new product, the other product related strategies, and also the international expansion. Yeah, so what are the advantage and the disadvantage before we see further detail? So these are the advantages of the internal growth strategy. Yeah, so you can have an incremental innovation. Before the lunch, we had a discussion about the four models just now. Yeah, so incremental innovation in your organization. Yeah, so you can expand a bit from the existing product that you have. Yeah, and other than that, the good thing is you can have a maximum control of your activities or your strategies, and it is consigned ataupun confined into your organization culture, whereby you already knows how you behave, how your team works, can help you to grow within your organization. And also it is encourage an internal entrepreneurship. Yeah, so yesterday Jack did mention the entrepreneur inside the firm. Yeah, so this is what the good thing about the internal strategy. Yeah, so you can encourage your employee, your staff to have to give them ideas or create the opportunities for your firm to grow. And you allows the firm to promote from within. Yeah, so that is the advantages. So how about the negative side? Yes, so the negative side is, of course, you need some time. Not all the companies, but some of the companies, the growth might be slower. Yeah, so because they only rely into the internal resources. Yeah, and they may need to develop the new resources. And other than that, also the investment might be failed. Yeah, not all the investment, not all the strategies can work. Yeah, and other than that, the strategy might be difficult to record. Yeah, and maybe also adds to the industry capacity. So this is the examples of the disadvantages of the internal growth strategy. Okay, so let's see examples of the new product development. So this is examples of the thing that you can do. Yes, it is involve the creation and sale of the new product or services, or as means of increasing the firm revenue. Just so we see this a lot in our industry, in our market. So for example, one of the firm that keep product the new create the new product, contohnya macam kumpulan Nestle. Yeah, so they create a lot of product, then they keep improve the quality of the product. Yeah, so they keep doing the researches to improve the product. Yeah, so in many past industries, the new product we want is a competitive necessity. Yeah, so they need to come out with a new product to ensure they are remain competitive. Even in the food industry also, we notice that contoh dia macam fast food punya industri. We notice that within certain time they will come out with the new menus that add on ataupun improve into their services. So that is what is meant here. And average product life cycle is around 14 to 16 months. So this is for the computers punya industry lah. So for others industry, of course, that's lifespan might be longer ataupun might be shorter. Even kalau kita tengok dekat industri yang related to smartphone, we see we notice that almost every year keluar 2-3 model. So that is what is meant by the new product here. So after a few months, then come out the new model of the handphone. They improve it, increase here, increase there, and of course the price also they increase it. So that is what is meant by the new product here. And the key to have an effective new product or services is again it's back to the niche here. So I'm not sure the rest of the team here. Maybe some of you still not familiar what is niche all about. So basically if you decide to venture into any businesses in future, for those who are yet to have their own businesses, it's good to start with finding your specific niche. So you cannot go to inside the overcrowded businesses. So I like once of the professor did mention to me last few months. So dia kata our people when we started our business, dia kata every time we try to put general services. So this is what the professor said lah. So every time kita buat lesen contractor semua general services. So we don't have any specific needs. So instead of doing the general contractor, dia katakan, so why not you choose a specific niche that is very focused into your experience. Contoh kalau you pandai mengecat, dia katakan, instead of doing the general contractor, so why not you form a company that is specifically mengecat. Then mengecat ni pun dia katakan there are lots of type of the painting job. So maybe if you doing a specific niche, contoh you mengecat atap rumah. So your services is focusing into that atap rumah saja. Then for your company to grow further, then is better compared to the general services. So because along the way, people will know your company is doing the mengecat atap rumah. So you see that is what it mean by niche, a specific industry, specific what you call it, services that is rarely ataupun tidak sama dengan orang lain. So we make it stand alone compared to others industry whereby they want to enter into the construction area. Contohnya general services. There are lots of contractors in I'm not sure in other places, but in my town there are lots of general contractors. So for your company to be zoomed in ataupun highlighted in the market is slightly competitive compared to if you have a specific niche. Contoh kalau atap rumah saya rosak, contohlah. Then I go to the internet, I will find contoh contractor membaiki atap rumah. So if your company is your specific mainly memang servicing the atap rumah, so you have the in the internet, so your company will be the first company that's come out in the search engine. So that is another opportunity for you to grow compared to the general contractor study. So that is what is meant by find a niche here. And of course the product must have the value added and the quality and the pricing must be right. So we cannot have a product which is overpriced ataupun terlampau murah. Sometimes you need to buat survey juga. There is some customer who has a mentality kalau harga barang tu terlampau murah, so pun dia tak nak beli. The reason is the mentality dia tadi, dia fikir mungkin that's barang terlampau murah, quality dia tak bagus. So that means you need to do the assessment. It doesn't mean cheap price brings a bad quality, tidak juga, and expensive price doesn't mean it is quality. Yeah, so you need to do the market survey here, and you need to conduct the ongoing feasibility analysis lah. Okay, so any question on this so far? Okay, semua ngantuk lah.
No question.
Okay.
But from what that you shared just now, it seems like we need to give added value to our business. Maybe the business is the same as the others, but where we can find the added values that can nourish our business, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So basically, if you ever heard the word USP, so unique selling proposition. So this will bring you different compared to others.
Okay.
Yeah. So just let's see the Coca-Cola punya company kan. So Coca-Cola, they are involved in the drink, but what is the unique selling proposition of this company? So one of it is they control the supply chain. Yeah, so that is make it different compared to others beverages punya company. Yeah, so even if we go to the jungles, ada kedai kopi dekat hutan sana pun, we may find the Coca-Cola there compared to others others brand yang cannot control the supply chain. Yeah, so understand that what is your unique selling of the product, whereby it's make different compared to others. Okay, sir, does it answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so others than that, this is the some of the reason also. So why the new product is failed. Yeah, so they don't have adequate feasibility analysis. Yeah, the market survey they fail, maybe fail or inadequate. Yeah, maybe they overestimate. So the market potential. Yeah, ataupun the bad timing. So the timing also need to be right lah. So you need to do the analysis. And contoh lah kalau you want to venture into the tourism punya businesses ataupun you want to buat logging punya businesses hotel. So maybe now is not really the right time. Yeah, even the potential is there. Okay, and because of the inadequate advertising and promotion also. Yeah, so that can become the reason also. And others than that is poor services. Yeah, so this one, yes, no doubt there are some company that did not look into these services properly. Yeah, so that's why they cannot fulfill ataupun cannot sustain. Okay. Okay, so these are the summary of it. Yeah, so I'm not going through this. Yeah, you can read this one lah. Yeah. Then let's we move on to the next strategy, which is the international expansion. Yeah, so this is still within the internal strategies now. Now you may plan to extend internationally. Yeah, so mungkin you want to extend your business to Thailand, to Brunei, to Indonesia. So you may decide to expand into international. Yeah, so this is the common form of growth for the entrepreneur firm lah. So as we can see, yeah, so of course you can have the international new ventures for your companies, and you need to consider all of the factors before you decide, I believe. Yeah, so you need to consider the politicals, the economic, yeah, the legal, and even the culture and the religion of that country. Yeah, thus the product is acceptable in that country based on their religion or based on their culture. Yeah, and you need to consider the trade policy as well. So what are the trade policies set by that country? Is it easy for you to enter the market or a bit difficult for you to enter the market? Yeah, so all of this you need to do the analysis. Yeah, so these are examples of the expansion, what you can do. Yeah, so either you're exporting your product, or maybe the licensing agreement, or maybe the joint venture strategy. Yeah. So others than that also you may use the franchising, a turnkey project, or maybe hold on subsidiary. For example, you open a new branches, a new company in that country, and that company is 100% or 50% owned by your company. Yeah, so that are examples of the internal growth. how you can grow internally. Okay, so next we will see the external growth strategy. Ya, tadi adalah internal, how you can grow internally. And on the next slide, we will see the 4 type of the external growth strategy that you may use ataupun you can apply into your organization. Yeah, so here are some of the advantages and also the disadvantages lah. Yeah, so in terms of the positive side, yeah, so when you use the external growth strategy, of course it will reducing the competition. So competition between two competitors. Yeah, so for example, you are doing the same business, company A, company B, then both of you before this is competitor because you provide the same product or provide the same service. Yeah, so instead of compete with each other, then you may want to merge with the competitors. Yeah, then other than that, the benefit is you can access to the proprietary products of your competitors ataupun your new partner. Yes, and also gaining access to the new product, the new market, technical expertise, establish the brand name also. Yeah, all the economic punya scale and also diversification of your business risk. Yeah, so that is the advantage of you if you're using the external growth strategy. However, being said that, there are the negative side. Yeah, so sometimes you may have the incapability of the top management. Yeah, and clash of the corporate culture. Mungkin sebelum ni company A culture dia lain. So company B, the organization culture or behavior might be different. Yeah, so that might be a clash of the corporate culture here. Yeah, and others that could be the operational problem. Increase in terms of the business complexity. This is no doubt if you do the external growth strategy. For example, you do a joint venture, then it will increase the complexities of the businesses within the two parties. And also you might lose the organizational flexibility. So mungkin before ni you within your organization you encourage your staff to contribute into the freedoms of the opportunities of idea. Then when you merge ataupun you collaborate with others, they might have certain policies in terms of the creating the new ideas and everything. Yeah, so that is what is meant here, loss of the flexibilities of how you do your business. And also, of course, the antitrust implication. Yeah, so these are examples of the negative sides of the external growth of the strategy. Yeah, so basically there are 4 types of the action that you might consider when you want to do the external growth strategy. Yeah, so one of it is the merger and acquisition. Yeah, so merger and acquisition, it can be you macam contoh tadi you combine within 2 groups or few groups into one single entity, ataupun you take over the control of the others company. You beli ataupun you acquisitions of that organization. Yeah, so you purchase the right. Contoh dia the product is owned by company A, then you may want to acquire the copyright issue. Yeah, so then it's become your product. Then of course the purpose of this is to fulfill the company need, such as expanding its product line or gaining access to distribution channels or achieving the competitive economies scale. So this is the some of the reason why people want to merge ataupun want to take over others organization. So basically this is examples of the process of the competing and the completing the acquisition lah. So of course you need to meet the new target, top management, so all the discussion. Yeah, so until the next step. Okay, so others than that is on the licensing. Yeah, so others then you take over the company or you merge. Yeah, so then you can expand through the licensing. So for example, the granting of the permission by one company to another company to use a specific form of its intellectual property under clearly defined conditions. So this is what the commons things doing now, especially in the technology ataupun digitalized area sekarang ni. Yeah, so whereby you will granted agreement by the owner of that property, your intellectual property, then you have the right to use it and market it in your area or in your organization ataupun country. For example, your business in Malaysia, then you have your principals from the overseas, you have the right, the licensing ataupun the trademark, then you can use it in Malaysia. So that is one of the common external growth strategy that the entrepreneurs can use currently to expand or grow the business. So this is examples of the type of the licensing. It can be the technology, ataupun it can be the merchandise and charters licensing.
Sir, ini banyak dalam creative and content.
Apa dia?
Creative and content industry, they would apply licensing.
Yes.
Like we license this movie, we license that to this territory and everything. So in this industry, they'll apply this kind of process.
Ya, betul.
That's a sample.
Another good example paling senang itu TV punya industri lah kan. So that's why kalau kita tengok, kalau contoh Astro dapat hak penyiaran piala apa yang last Europe lah. Contoh
yes.
So kalau Astro yang dapat hak, then RTM dia tak boleh tayangkan that game.
Another simple story is Cerita Piramli.
Yes.
Okay, it's owned by Shaw Brothers in Singapore. You can see this year there will be RTM handling. Semua siaran. There's no other channel tak ada. So next year Astro will take. So the license will be katakan 1 year 2 screening of per movie. So that's how it goes, licensing lah. This is one of the process lah. Biasa dalam creative industry, entertainment industry, licensing will be used to take over the business punya ni entity.
Must be very expensive to pay the license.
Thank you. Yes, very expensive. Kalau kita tengok kadang sampai million juga.
I can share one experience. Ada masa ke, Andrew?
Ada, no problem. Yes, sure.
In year 2000, when I see opportunity in animation, masa tu animation baru mula di Malaysia tu. So, and I realized there's a lot of less content on Islamic. There's no Islamic cartoon in the world. So there are 34 OIC country in the world yang tak ada kartun tentang Islam. So I try to create. I talk to my team and then we do market search and see business trees and whatever. We see there's opportunity. So I tried. So in year 2000, I went to Cannes Film Festival. So I start selling my first cartoon. So I pergi with few group of friends lah, just pergi jalan-jalan lah. I was so surprised that suddenly I got huge demand on it. Dia tak mahal, tapi it could be macam like 1,000 per episode, right? So if we have 30 episodes, you got $30,000 US. A license by one country, but when it goes to 10 or 20 countries, it can go huge money though. So that's where you see opportunity goes outside. This is where when you say outside punya thinking of strategy, right? So then I start learning about licensing process. This is how Malaysian TV station and content industry, how we purchase movies from overseas. Kita purchase documentary ke, kita purchase apa. But most of it are under licensing punya technology. Okay, that's what my sharing lah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Very good sharing. So maybe some of our colleague friend here then start to trigger the business idea from this kind of the opportunity. So there are lots of other opportunity. Yes, sir.
Betul bang. But eventually licensing ni memang banyak parts yang sebenarnya kita sendiri pun kena belajar as a entrepreneur. think most, even I think all of the business, they have their own licensing lah. For example, like construction, you need to have the CIDB, the class of contractors. So that is the most crucial part lah. That's why we need the knowledge about licensing.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So let's just now our friend talk about the phenomenon tadi tu cartoon. Yeah. So yes, these are the examples lah. Character licensing. Yeah. So today, if you are someone who very good in the creativity, melukis, buat kartun. Yeah, so this I think there is potential ideas of the business. In fact, if you have the passion on that, so maybe you can create a new ataupun characters based on the cartoon. Yeah, so why not? Yeah, so even this company, they make a millions just because of this character only.
Yeah, for kids cartoon, the demand will never end. You know,
yeah.
Kalau you buka YouTube nowadays, surprisingly, kalau you tengok kartun-kartun bodoh, sometimes you tengok Superman, you cuba buka YouTube, buka Spider-Man, yang daripada Thailand tu, dia buat tak apa benda pun can get 20 million, 11 million, 7 million viewers because kids like to watch. They cannot watch the same thing every day. They'll start going out everything. So it's a good business.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Maybe I want to share.
Yes.
There's one very interesting one. Mungkin you all tahu kartun Upun Upun Upin.
Upin Ipin.
Okay, that one actually started from my husband's friend. Dia tu dulu, the owner, the founder, was formerly Petronas punya orang. And then after that, he came out. He joined us. Actually, he was one of us, our competitor. You know, dia buka. Maybe you all have heard of Dayang Enterprise. Sekarang is a very big company dah. So he joined. He left that also. He sold off his share. Lepas tu, dia dengan isteri kan, they came out with this idea. Kita buat kartun, tapi dia tak pandai melukis. Idea dia, story kartun dia punya cerita dia masa kanak-kanak kat kampung. Dia ambil semua budak-budak UiTM yang bahagian art and design. Dia orang buatlah kartun tu. And now
he is multi-million dollar man.
It's all history. Dia punya office studio is in section 13 Shah Alam because I have one apartment there actually.
Very good.
So you imagine, it all started from passion and berani nak venture. Masa tu kita tak ada kartun.
Yeah. I think that was on early stage. Cartoon tak banyak. The first Malaysian cartoon was
correct.
What's that? Usup Sontorian. Usup Sontorian. If somebody can remember.
Yes.
Even Usup Sontorian was screened in America, in Europe. Because
even
of
this
the
one, Upun
success.
Ipin.
Yeah. Upin Ipin come later because that one we started with 2D. Upin Ipin they start with 3D. It was year 2000 something lah, you know. So but the first 2D animation created by Malaysian, that one is really hit. Barulah opportunity nampak, dan rakyat Malaysia yang banyak ada kreatif ni, dan tumbuh macam cendawan syarikat animasi di Malaysia.
Betul.
At the time. So 3D punya era, it comes within 2005 or 2006.
This guy kan, he has been very creative. Bohal Sandi ni. He has been very creative.
Dia punya internal business now, merchandising dia is carrying a lot of $1 million money. People merchandise. License to merchandise saja dia punya produk.
Actually, dia ada idea itu sahaja. And then he dare to venture. Orang Petronas, ex-Petronas.
He came in at the right time, right place, right situation. That's why he really hit lah. Happy for Malaysian. Now every part of the world semua kenal Upin Ipin. Even the European pun translating Upin Ipin. Tosah cerita Middle East, Southern America pun. And surprisingly now our Malaysian dramas pun start going to South America and Korea and Japan, which is good lah. This industry is growing. Tapi MCO ni semua hancur, bos.
Betul.
Semua dah tak boleh buat production lagi, kena hold out. We are down already.
So our brother Tia bila nak keluar kartun ni?
I already have few cartoons. I produce. Dah.
Yeah.
Later I will share all my product. You can go through my website lah. I got 4 or 5 cartoons yang I dah produce and sell internationally. People from overseas license my cartoon, and we produce documentaries, special documentaries, and proud to say we have award winning. Kita menang anugerah Sri Angkasa documentary terbaik, drama bersiri terbaik. Wow. I'm into that line lah, you know. Later I'll share lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Thank you, sir. Good sharing. Yeah. So let's move on. Okay, so other than licensing, you can do the strategic alliances also. Yeah, so whereby you doing a partnership between 2 or more firms to develop and achieve a specific goal. Yeah, so this also you can use to expand or the strategy that you can use to expand your businesses. Yeah. So this is the examples of the strategic alliances. Again, either it is related to the technologicals or related to the marketing alliances. Yeah, of course, others than this, you can also do the strategic alliances also. Okay, then others than that is on the joint venture. Yeah, so joint venture is an entity created when 2 or more firms pool a portion of their resources to create a separate jointly on organization. Yeah, so this is also one of the common strategy that is used by the business owners to expand and grow the businesses. So one of the common reason to form a joint venture is to gain access to a foreign market. So for example, or the government's contract. Yeah, so in this case, the joint ventures typically consist of the firm trying to reach a foreign market in one or more local partners. And again, sometimes it is depend on the policy or the regulation set by the organization. So for example, in Malaysia, we have a few regulations. Sebagai contoh, kalau you want to involve in business in Malaysia, maybe you need to have a local partner contohnya. So that is one of the examples why they form the joint venture as well. So this is the type of the joint venture. It can be the scale joint venture ataupun a linked joint venture. Okay, so this is the advantages and also the negative sides of the participating in the strategic alliance ataupun and also the joint ventures lah. So kelebihan dia, you have the access to a specific resources and also the economies of the scale and risk of the cost sharing. Then you can access to the foreign market. In the same time, also you can learn new technologies or new markets in your activities, and also you can speed up your growth. Yeah, and you can also neutralizing your competitors. So contohnya before this, company A is your competitor, but both of you decide to joint venture to enter a new market, then you can have a good opportunities working together instead of compete with each other. And others than that also you can block the competitors. However, on the negative side, you may lose of your proprietary information. Then also on the management complexities, this one might be arise also. Ataupun the financial and also the organizational risk. And you might some venture the risk of becoming depending on the other partners also quite regular. So whereby too depending to the other partners also not really good for the growth of the company actually. Yeah, or you may lose partially of the decision and also the autonomy. And others that you may clash the culture with your partners, and you might lose of your organizational flexibility as well. Yeah, so that is the advantages and also the disadvantages of this strategic alliance and joint venture. Okay, so that will end our module. Yeah, so we will have a quick break, 5 minutes. Is it okay before we finish our next 2 module?
Yes.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Okay,
okay. Thank
thank you.
you.
We have a 5 minutes break. Okay, so we come back to our class. Yeah, so we will go through our next module. Okay, so our next 2 last module, we will discuss briefly on the social entrepreneur and also the corporate entrepreneur. So these ones might come out in your assignments, sorry, on your final exams later lah. Yeah, so but no worry, the question is not that hard lah. Okay, so let's move on. So what is the social entrepreneurs? So how would you go and success is vary between social entrepreneurs and more conventional entrepreneurs? So basically the social entrepreneurs they are driven by a social mission. So maksudnya tadi bila mereka enter into the business entity, the main objective is because of the social mission. So with a desire to find innovative ways to solve the social problem that are not or cannot be addressed by either the market or by the public sector. So this is the explanation ataupun the definition of the social entrepreneurs. Yeah, so even without our realizing, there are some of the our friend or family members may venture into the social entrepreneurs. Yeah, so this might will give you some ideas. So mungkin kawan-kawan kita yang belum ada business, so mungkin this you can become the social entrepreneurs so after this. Yeah, so one of examples of the social entrepreneurs is whereby this guy in India. So apa yang dia buat adalah misi dia untuk menyediakan setiap student ataupun setiap kanak-kanak satu laptop. This is dia punya mission. Dia punya intention ataupun objective is he want to provide the children with one laptop. Yeah, so that's why he come out with the dia punya businesses ataupun dia punya organization which is known as Asoka Foundation. Yeah, so his intention is to have to create the accessible ataupun competitive price of the laptop. Well, that is the main intention of his businesses. Yeah, so basically the bottom line here is dia punya main objective bukan untuk to gain the profit. Sometimes the businesses started with the intention to help others. Yeah. So here are the mindset of the social entrepreneurs. Yeah, so if you still remember in the chapter 2 when we discuss about this the mindset. Yeah, so basically these social entrepreneurs they have a different mindset from the business entrepreneurs. Yeah, so just now maybe yesterday so when we discuss about the psychology of the entrepreneurs, there are few mindset of the ordinary entrepreneurs, which is different compared to these social entrepreneurs. So, however, they have the same skill and temperament, but they are different. Not as overly positive and confident, and more likely to feel failure. And that is one of the characteristics. And also, they also more likely to say that lack of finance will stop them. Yeah, so maksudnya tadi, walaupun a lack of the financial, lack of the capital, it won't stop them from helping others, because the main intention is to try to help the societies. Yeah, and it's derived more into the spiritual dimension. Yeah. But there are one big difference compared to the others entrepreneurs. The social entrepreneurs, they have a social mission is central. Yeah, so the scholars and artists come to rest when they express an idea. So for example, the managers, when they solve a problem for the company, they will complete the goal. None of that will satisfy a social entrepreneurs. Yeah, so the entrepreneur simply knows in a very deep way that I have got a chance to the whole society. So maksudnya tadi tujuan utama the venture into that kind of business back to the mission to have ataupun to assist the societies. Yeah, that is the different mindset compared to the ordinary entrepreneurs. Then others, others than that, they have a sustainability mindset as well. Yeah, so whereby they will combine the environmental, the economic, and the social components of the sustainability. Yeah, so they have a different organizing logic from more conventional entrepreneurs, and most of them, the market creation is more difficult. Yeah, so maksudnya tadi to create the market is more difficult compared to the traditional ataupun the ordinary entrepreneurs. Yeah, because the fresh competition in the marketplace. Yeah, so other than that, in order to sustain also, when they operate their business, the way that they run the business is different compared to ordinary businesses. So when we talk about sustainability, so what could the word sustainable mean to you? Yeah, so there is a two definition of the first sustainability. We have an old definition, and also we have a new definition. When we talk about the old definition, basically when we talk about sustainability, most of the people of the old tradition, they will try to survive. Yeah, so meaning to say they try to maintain ataupun ensure their business is sustainable in a long run against any some other competitors ataupun against any threat from the internals ataupun from the political and also the regulatory. That is the all traditions punya definition of the sustainable. So maksudnya tadi you try to sustain and maintain your business. So however, as we see currently in the new trend, especially since years 2000s and onward, the new definition of the sustainable is changed from the surviving or maintaining the individual businesses into a commitment to the environment and climate change. Yeah, so this is the common definition ataupun acknowledgement of the sustainability. Yeah, so whereby they try to revamp the model of the business and try to protect ataupun save the environment. So how they committed to protect the whole environment in terms of the businesses. Yeah, so what they try to do is they try to have the product or services that will have a minimal impact into the environment. So that is what is the common new definition of the sustainability. Okay, so now we look into this eco-preneurs. So before this, we heard about the entrepreneurs, and basically the eco-preneurship is a combination of the ecological and also the entrepreneurship. Yeah, and it is according to these guys. Yeah, so examples this Robert Cherney, in Australian former politician, and basically he's a medical doctor and also the environmentalist. Yeah, so he also the former senator and former leader for this Australian Green. Yeah, so what he did is he successfully campaigned for a large increase in the protected wilderness areas of the Tasmania. So Brown also led the Australian Green from the party's formation in 1992. So this is the examples of the ones of the ecopreneurs that quite popular. Yeah. So what he's do is intention is not to make the money. The money is the secondary focus. But what he do is he wants to bring an impact into the environmental. So he campaigns towards the sustainability in terms of the protecting the environment. Yeah. And currently we see there are a few competitive advantages on the global warming. So whereby as we can see currently there are quite a numbers of the entrepreneurs ataupun ad hoc ecopreneurs that is seeking to develop ataupun have a better businesses that will provide a better protection towards our environment. Yeah, so they will find out the commercial opportunities in a carbon constant war. They keep find the product or services that will improve our well-being planet. Yeah, so basically this is the business of climate change entrepreneurs who seek competitive advantage on a warming planet rather than being driven by climate change technology. So most of all of these people, most of them, these people, they are more to the social entrepreneurship. So because the main intention where they come ataupun venture into business is because they want to have the society. Yeah. So this is the narrow view of the corporate responsibility. Yeah. So according to Adam Smith, yes, and also this Milton Friedman. So what is the corporate responsibility? Yeah, so basically, Friedman acknowledged that corporate activities are often described as a CR, when in fact they are meant to simplify the advance the company's self-interest. Yeah, so this is the all definition of the CSR. Yeah, so most of the company, even in Malaysia also, it was one of the requirements by the government that the business owner provide corporate responsibilities in terms of their businesses as well. Yeah, so according to Friedman also, the whole justification for permitting the corporate executive is to be selected ataupun to be hired by the shareholders. Instead, the executives are agent serving the interest of the principals. Yeah. So these are examples of the some of the companies, yeah, that's being said that CSR is not part of the responsibility. Ya, so kalau kita tengok according to this former CEO, so dia katakan bila dia increase the price of the drug ataupun ubat ni tadi into 5,000% increment, and he justified that the company is this is a capitalist society. Maksudnya tadi dia kapitalis punya sistem and capitalist rules. And my investor expect me to maximize profit. So this was what he said when this company increased the price of the drug. Yeah, so instead of giving back to the society, and he defend his company decision ataupun his decision being said that his responsibility is more into the investor instead of to the society. Yeah, so meanwhile, this Nestle CEO also did mention the company shouldn't feel obligated to give back to the communities. Yeah, so you see the different compared to the corporate entrepreneur dengan social entrepreneur. So to them, the profit, whatever they earn, is belong to them. They don't have the obligated to give back to the companies. Okay, so basically the stakeholder model also, the corporate has the obligation not only to its stockholders but also to other constituencies that affect or are affected by its behavior ataupun decision. Yeah, so this is what the Edward Friedman said in his researches. Yeah, so because there is an implicit social contract between the business and society. Yeah, so because most of the time the businesses will create some hazards either to the environment or either to the society. So according to this guys, Edward Friedman, basically the organization or the businesses, they have an implicit social contract. So whereby after you do your business, you're using all the resources, either the environment, then you need to give back to the society. Yeah, so which is contradict with the statements by the CEO of this pharmacy and also by the Nestle CEO. However, now we are in the different area. Yeah, so whereby the CSR, normally when we talk about CSR, so the intention is we try to have the societies, but there are some of the organization also will make use of this CSR. Yeah, so instead of giving back to the society, they will make use of this CSR as part of the marketing strategy also. Yeah, so that is what is a common we can see currently in the industry. Okay, so I think we skip some of the slide. Yeah, so any questions so far? Yeah, so what we had discussed just now is we see the difference between the conventional entrepreneurs and the social entrepreneurs. Yeah, the social entrepreneurs, the aim is more to the society. So meanwhile, the conventional entrepreneurs, of course, yeah, so they want to achieve the dream, they want to gain the profit, yeah, of course, and the men's different again. The social entrepreneurs, even though they don't have the capitals, don't have the money, it will not stop them from doing goods for the community. Okay, so if there's no question, then we will move to our last module. Yeah. So this is about the corporate entrepreneurship. So just now we discussed on the social entrepreneurship. So I hope some of you can have some ideas. Maybe you can start your business after this. Yeah. So this is related to the corporate. Or maybe you have a passion to help others. Yeah. So why not slowly turn that passion into a business? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the last module. So let's ask you. So among us here, so besides our few friends that already owns the company, so anyone else that has started their own business ataupun social venture? Ada tak selain dari kawan-kawan kita? Maybe yang senyap saja nih. Let's panggil orang.
Buat NGO ada juga. Do you consider that as social entrepreneur kah?
Yeah, NGO, sometimes the social entrepreneurs also start from the NGO. So from helping others, then slowly they will turn the NGO into a profitable NGO. So that also considered as a social entrepreneur. So. Okay,
what about, now beside public universities, we have private universities. Or we have a lot of these educational businesses, so-called, coming up. Do you consider that as social entrepreneurs? Because their intention is that to create social change so that people are getting more educated. Malaysians get more educated, more knowledgeable, that kind of thing. So where do you put this? Where do you put them in? Is it under social entrepreneurship or corporate entrepreneurship?
I think to me, in my personal view, it can be the corporate, and in the same time also it can become a social entrepreneur. And again, depends on the main objective of the pioneer or the entrepreneurs when he set up it, and along the way how he run the business. For example, if his intention is to have a community, yes, that is part of the social entrepreneurs. However, if that's the structure of the universities is no different compared to the conventional universities or private universities, whereby the yuran pun bukan tolong orang, sembelih orang. So
memang betul. Private
got what I mean?
Private university dia punya yuran is memang memang tinggi lah, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't find it's social entrepreneurship kat situ, but on the pretext of creating social change.
Yes, agree with you. Yeah. So one of the pioneer in this private university in Malaysia is siapa nama ni, ex yang baru-baru ni meninggal, Lim Kok Wing.
Yeah.
So she is one of the pioneer in the private university lah kan in Malaysia. Yeah, so in the same sense, memang the intention is to have the community. In fact, if you read also, most of the student, the scholars also do receive the full scholarship as well. Yeah, so we may consider that as entrepreneurs, social, and at the same time they also a corporate entrepreneur.
Correct.
Kan? Okay, so next. So maybe after this class, so if you yet to start your own business, maybe now you already have your ideas, maybe you want to start your own business, which is good to start with what you is passionate about. Apa yang kamu minat. You can start slowly lah. Contoh, if you love to do the programming, ataupun you like to design a website, so you can do your online business slowly. Yeah. Okay, so let's move this. Let's go quickly. Yeah, so now let's see what are the difference between the manager, entrepreneur, or intrapreneur. Yeah, so maybe this is one of the new words to some of us. Yeah, so again, I like the words that Jack said yesterday, whereby there is an entrepreneur inside the firm. So if you are, that is the one of you, ataupun kamu in that organization, you are definitely falls under this intrapreneur. Ya, maksudnya tadi, you have that organization, you contribute your ideas, contribute the your decision, or you brainstorming, and you have the organization to come out with the new product or new services. That means you are intrapreneur. So meanwhile, for the entrepreneur is you are the one who own the business. You have your own freedom, you own all the self-confidence compared to the intrapreneur. Yeah. So meanwhile, for the manager, of course, the role is more to managing the activities. Okay. Okay, so I just keep those the ones that you can read lah. Yeah. So this is the what's the entrepreneur, the corporate entrepreneurs. So can doing. So basically they are starting a businesses for your employer. So if you are the one who under the entrepreneur tadi, you have the idea, you have the opportunities that you identified, and you will contribute that idea to your organization or to your firm. Yeah, so basically you are one of that corporate entrepreneur. Yeah, so meaning to say you have your organization, create the new product, and also create the new services, ataupun innovate the new product for your company in order for your organization keep growing. Yeah? So meaning to say almost all of us is the entrepreneurs. So the difference is we are the social entrepreneurs, or we are the corporate entrepreneurs, ataupun we are the business owner. Yeah. So in this case, if we work to others, we work with others, we are corporate entrepreneurs. And according to these guys, yeah. So Master Gifford, he described the entrepreneur as a dreamers who do, those who take hands-on responsibility for creating the innovation of any kind within the business. And basically, without our knowledge, most of us is a corporate entrepreneur. Yeah, so we have our organization to innovate, the product or the services. Yeah, so basically, it is not necessarily the inventor of the new product or services, but these people, they turn the ideas or the prototype into a profitable reality. So maksudnya tadi entrepreneurs ni tidak semestinya dia invent the product. So inventor is different. Inventor contoh dia macam orang yang invent the electricity. Those who invent the new product, that is inventors. Yeah, so in entrepreneurs ni, we don't have to become the inventors. We can innovate. So as we discussed before we go for lunch now, there are 4 types of the innovation. It can be the radical innovation, it can be modular or incremental innovation. Yeah, so you can innovate whatever product that's already in the market. After you find out the problem, the analysis, the gap, then you can improve or modify that kind of product.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So does that mean that entrepreneur is not the business owner?
Yes. They are not the business owner. Ya, kalau dia business owner, we will call them entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Ya, so kalau contoh macam saya, I work with others company, I most probably I will fall under these entrepreneurs lah.
Okay. Based on your previous slide, they say that entrepreneurs self-motivated, something. Can you go on that slide?
Is it this one?
Yeah, this one. Okay, so how does the entrepreneur from this slide say that wants freedom and access to company resources? In terms of freedom, is it freedom of life or what?
Yeah, this is more to the individual freedom. Yes, they want the freedom and access to the company resources. This is
only between the company lah.
Yeah, within the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this like a freedom of managing that particular project?
Say again.
Like one's freedom, right? Is it like related to like freedom to manage that particular project?
Yeah, that is one of the examples. You are free to provide the idea. You are free to contribute your suggestions or something like that. That is what they want.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So these are examples of how you can re-engineer the organization thinking. Yeah, because not all the companies they do provide ataupun accept the ideas ataupun accept the opinions from the employee. Yeah, so if you want to turn your organization into an entrepreneur firm compared to the conservative firm, you may want to adopt this way of thinking, whereby you provide the freedom and encouragement to your employees to develop their ideas. Yeah, and other than that, you may want to encourage the managers also to develop the policies that will help innovative people reach their full potential. So for example, mungkin you want to give some rewards ataupun you want to give some incentive. Yeah, so maybe okay. So contoh, if you come up with the new ideas, then you will able to get a profit from that product. Maybe you have some incentive for them. Maybe bagi dia percentage ke, promotion ke, something like that. Yeah, so that will encourage the people to contribute ataupun provide the ideas. So in fact, there are lots of the employee who has a potential, yeah, inside them, but because of the organization punya culture, maybe they are more to the conservative firm. They typically hard for them to accept the ideas, ataupun maybe the organization they don't have any channel for this employee to share the ideas ataupun opportunity. Yeah, so you may want to consider this also, so that you can have a better ideas, a better product or services to improve your business, to ensure you can grow. So this is the question to ask ataupun to the business owner. So is your company is entrepreneurial? ataupun not. Yeah, so if your company have all of these sign, yes, you are entrepreneurial company. Maksudnya tadi, you menggalakkan you punya employee to become the entrepreneur inside your organization. Yeah, so maksudnya tadi, your company, you the people that can share the ideas, share the opportunities anytime to the organization. Or maybe you have a channel how they can assign ataupun provide the idea. So again, maybe you want to protect it. Mungkin you have spread ataupun apps ke, how you want to encourage them. So to protect maksudnya tadi supaya Master A tak curi idea Master B. Contoh mungkin ada using the platform like what some company doing. Yeah. Or maybe your company provide ways for innovators to stay with the ideas. Yeah, so all these things. Yeah, kalau you tak ada, so mungkin after this you may want to consider to encourage the team to contribute the idea. You can see the difference as we say yesterday early morning, the difference between the entrepreneurial firm and the conservative firm. Yeah, so both of it they are the different. Yeah, so untuk yang entrepreneurial firm, still remember they are proactive, they are risk-taking also. Yeah, compared to the another side, which is more to wait and see, tunggu dan lihat lah. Yeah, so that is the different compared to that. Okay, let's see something inside the chat. Can I read here? Really useful to become a new boss. Thank you, Sapani. Let me here. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. There is another obstacle. Even though there is you can encourage the people to contribute the ideas. However, there are still some of the obstacles to the entrepreneurship. Yeah, so one of it is contohnya resistant to change in the organization. Ya, so maksudnya tadi ada halangan. Kalau nak berubah ni, nak berikan idea baru, it's a bit difficult to the management ataupun to the business owner to accept the new idea ataupun new opportunity. Yeah, and of course, others than that is the corporate bureaucracy. Yeah, not only in the public sector, sometimes in the corporate firm also there are bureaucracies issue happen. Yeah, and it might slow down the project approvals ataupun the ideas. Ataupun because of the bureaucracy, then the ideas is not reach the decision maker. Contoh yang decision maker mungkin the top management, the business owner, the CEO, and maybe the ideas was highlighted to the manager level contohnya, and maybe that idea just stuck. So ada resistance, ada halangan. Yeah, so it did not reach the decision maker. Yeah, so this is examples of the obstacle as well. Ataupun yes, it arrive ataupun reach the decision maker. However, they refuse to allocate the resources to the new ideas. We facing this. Yeah, in fact, a lot of I believe some of us do facing this. Yeah, in our organization, whereby we sudah share our ideas, share our information, but because of the management tidak nak allocate the budget ataupun resources, then the idea stop there. Yeah, and others than that, lack of the training, lack of the support, and also low rewards for the success couple ataupun success idea. And the performance evaluation based solely on the job description. So maksudnya tadi, this is the common practice. Ya, so normally kalau orang bagi idea ataupun opportunity, that was very rarely contributed into the performance information. So I believe most of the company do that. Yeah, and kalau if that was included inside the performance appraisal ataupun evaluation, it may create a lot of better ideas which will bring a good to that businesses. Okay. So here is the proven keys to the success entrepreneurs in the company. Yeah, so of course the visions ataupun the industrials punya atmosphere, and orientation to the market. So kalau organisation tersebut lagi kecil ataupun the organization dia punya structure is flat, is much easier compared to the multi-liner ataupun too many tier of the management. So kalau kita tengok company yang besar-besar, selalunya the tier of the decision maker is so many. So that will create the bureaucracy tadi. So the ideas might not reach to the decision maker. The smaller the company, the flat organization structure is much easier. Because everybody can share their opinion, and that idea might reach the decision maker immediately instead of go through the multiply layer. And others than that, so we may have a multiply approach, iterative planning also. So this is examples of the proven keys for the success entrepreneurial company. So this one you can read this later. This is just an example of how the entrepreneurs in this company. This is the 3M companies. So I believe most of us knows this as 3M. And again, so basically the entrepreneur is not mandatory. It can be applied in the business only. So it can be applied into the public sectors as well. So whereby the even in the public sector also, we do have the potential of the entrepreneurship in the public sectors. Okay. So any questions so far? So basically we almost toward the end of our session. So this is an example of the strategy that you can use. Yes, I think this is going to be the last one. This is the critical step of the entrepreneurship strategy. So again, it's almost similar like the entrepreneurship strategy yesterday. So first you need to develop the vision. And after you develop the vision, you need to encourage the innovation in your organization. So lepas kamu menggalakkan this entrepreneurship, then you need to structuring the entrepreneurship climate. Then you need to develop the individual managers and developing the venture team. So these are examples of the steps that you can carry out in your organization.
Andrew, yang ni kan, because I know this one of it, social entrepreneur will be coming out in the exam. Any specific subject ke? Obstacle ke? Critical
Specific
steps
subject
yang keluar.
more and less lah. It can be contoh, it can be this one. Mungkin
Critical,
dia akan tanya contoh lah. Maybe dia akan tanya, okay, please highlight what are the critical step of the entrepreneurship strategy. So basically, I will ask the question based on this module lah. Jangan risau. All the answer is available in this module.
You bagi amber saja, kita nak green. Bukan yang ni amber ya?
Amber lah.
Amber. Yang tu obstacle amber or green?
This one, everything is amber. The green ones will be released on the exam
on the day itself.
But the green one is the answer is everything is inside this module. You just need to elaborate it.
Okay.
I want to check, right? Can we write in point form?
I prefer explanation. You can write the point, then you need to explain lah.
Elaborate it now.
Elaborate lah.
Elaborate.
Because this is master level, so I expect the elaboration lah.
Okay.
Yes, I think we had completed this module. The rest you can can go through lah. So we can have a few discussion before we go. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So that means like the corporate entrepreneurship will focus more on the entrepreneur rather than entrepreneur, right?
Say again. Say again. Sorry.
The corporate entrepreneurship, the one that we covered just now. Okay, it more focus on intrapreneur rather than entrepreneur.
Yes, yes,
Is it
betul,
correct?
betul. Because the definition of the corporate entrepreneurship tadi adalah intrapreneur. Because orang yang, contoh saya kerja in that organization and I have the ideas and I help the organization to give the ideas, to give the new product. So I was called social entrepreneur. Corporate entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that mean the involvement of entrepreneur will directly affect entrepreneur. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I stop this sharing first. Okay, so that is the end of our module. So any questions so far before we adjourn our class? Can you still see my part? Oh yeah, to stop. Okay. So any questions so far? Let us see.
So we have covered all of module.
Yes, we cover all. Of course, you can read some of the modules that we not discuss here, but don't worry, all the answer, as I mentioned, is inside the module. Okay. So how about the rest? Any other question before we adjourn our class? From Usman here, today we are learning many things, new idea, new theory. Okay, good. Okay, so LB1 tiada. Okay, so kalau tiada, I would like to thank everyone, those who are joining our class for these 2 days. Yeah, so good luck. So I hope you can complete this module with a good score. I try my best to help all of us. Yeah. So understand that.
Sir, can we PM you in case of any confusing things or whatever advice? You will stay in the group until we finish up our exam, right?
Yeah, I will be in the group until everything is complete, until we release the mark. That is normally what we do lah selalunya.
Okay.
Okay.
Assignment mark ni bila we can get it?
Assignment marks normally they roughly around 2 weeks after the closing date. Ataupun normally what we do is after you complete all the exam, so normally kita akan publish the marks together lah. But you can text me lah.
I think, sir, about the slide, like your main guide slides, okay. Okay, the one that you sent to us is, I noticed that some of it is intentionally left blank or something, right? But can you share the one that you used to for the presentation just now?
Ya, boleh. I can I will convert it to PDF first, then I will share with you. Basically yang intentionally blank tu basically normally my contact detail lah, introduction lah, this one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, any sample question? So far, I don't have the sample question, but as I had shared with you, one of it is the Henderson-Clark model. Then there's another question related to social entrepreneur and also the corporate entrepreneur.
Can I check? Can I know when is the exact date for our entrepreneur exam?
Okay, is it Agatha here? Maybe Agatha can help.
Untuk tu belum lagi lah. Nanti admin center masing-masing akan update.
Okay.
Okay, so any more question? Tada?
Andrew?
Yes.
I have a question. For the assignment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so since we are going to do the reference, so the reference is we just refer to your supporting documents, or we can online and search more, or we have to refer to exactly the supporting documents in the classroom.
No, you can do your own research.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that supporting document is just to like save our time, so we no need to do so much research.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody know where to find the research kan? So you can use the Google Scholar lah.
So Google lah.
Google Scholar. Is those who are not familiar, let's I show just a quick one. Give you some tips.
Mr.
Okay.
Google Scholar.
Dah keluar saya punya screen. Dah.
Ada.
Okay. So you can use the Google Scholar. Yeah, so instead of the normal search Google search item, you go to this Google Scholar. Yeah, so then you can type over here. Then another tip is you can type contoh entrepreneurship, just type like this, then you can have it. Others than that, you may want to type PDF, so that you will have those yang dalam bentuk PDF file. And others than that,
Journal, research, semua boleh keluar actually.
Yeah, so others than that, if you want to extract all this sometimes dia macam ni kan, so you cannot get it. Yeah, so the easiest way is instead of buying the journals or buying the book, you can use this website. Anyone use this before? Skyhub. You just type Skyhub dekat you punya Google search, then basically you boleh download all the journal freely. Maksudnya tak perlu bayar. This is one of the tip lah. Let's I try to show you examples tepat kan ni. Saya try Entrepreneurship. Maybe we try to get how about this one? Okay, so if you see here, kalau you buka tadi, even this also dia ada 13 pages kata silap saya. Then you cannot access all. Yeah, and the easiest way is after you open this, you copy paste ni, you copy dia punya DOI number ni, you just right click, copy the link, then you just paste inside this website Skyhub ni. Skyhub.do ni, paste here. Let's try. Hopefully this working. You see, you can get all the journal freely here. Tak perlu bayar. Okay. So anyone know this trick before?
Yeah.
Ada?
First time I see.
First time to see.
First time. So this is very good for you throughout your classes until you completed your module lah. Yeah. So later you do your major paper, you need a lot of resources, lot of journal. Yeah, so kalau you plan to continue for the doctorate, there are lots of other resources that required. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Yeah, so kalau ada silap salah, saya minta maaf. Yeah, so hopefully we can jumpa lagi lah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
That's all from me.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bro, July.